have to be a joy and there has to be a challenge. It's gonna be absolutely fucking crazy. In the kind of society we live in, the kind of times we're living right now with ruthless economical thinking, short-sighted political decisions. We need to fucking do alternative culture, you know? We need to do things that asks questions. We need to do things that makes people think, to be aware of stuff. And for me, it was music that started everything. My own creative thinking, my political awareness, everything started with music, you know.
Nickelsdorf is not a town. Nickelsdorf is a place. Nickelsdorf is a jail. It's a jail, big jail. But there's some people who love to be in the jail. You give them freedom, they're coming back and say, I want to come back to your jail.
It's been my favorite festival, and fuck it, I mean, that's what it is. It's laid back, no stress. It's a great community in the village. The program has been great. There's no backstage. Everything with this place is fantastic. No idea what will happen, and that's the way it should be.
And she said yes. We did it up there in the barn.
There's an urge to go into those colors.
First time they come for the lineup, I think. But then, if they discover this thing, they just come back because they really like it. And also this situation here with all the music, it's very dense and it provokes, I think, a lot of strong feelings, not only like for art, also it's very human.
I was 22 years old and I opened with, when I started, it's not about the first festival, I started the club in 1976. And then it takes me 4 years to get clear. I did like swing, blues, free jazz. I came into free jazz in '78 or so. At first it was like traditional jazz music.
There is something really present. I was thinking of it yesterday, I think, that I was really a child, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years. I could stand myself. And we were there with my parents. I don't know if it was festival or normal business. I saw a black man laughing. And I thought, why is he laughing? Because the image you get from black people here in the early 80s was starving people. And then there I went to this place and I saw a black man laughing, and I was really amazed to see that.
When Hans put up this thing at first, it was maybe a sort of confrontation with Vienna, probably?
No.
No?
There were many Viennese people coming here, because there was nothing in Vienna. So what I heard from them is that there was no experimental music scene, no jazz scene in Vienna, just this Dixieland and things like that. And all the Afro-American free jazz and then European improvised music was happening on the countryside. Nickelsdorf was one of the first, then there was Salzfelden, Salzburg, then Wales, already, I don't know, at least 25 years old, the festival. Yeah, it was not happening in the city. I grew up here, actually in Nickelsdorf, and I don't know, when I was 14 we started going out, and there were 2 places in town, and we chose Hans' place because there was billard in the cellar, and we always went there playing billard, and he put some records just to James Brown, things like that. So I discovered some music, and I liked the guy, Hans, and I always tried to talk to him, then he talked to me, he just gave me music and books, and so I discovered all these things, and I was always working for the festival, like making sandwiches and as a waiter and cleaning the floor, things like that. And with the time I entered the organization, and in the last years I did all the fundraising, the paperwork and all the shit.
The first time I came to Nickelsdorf was I played in a club in 1979.
1979. You played with
Fred Anderson on tenor saxophone, William Brimfield on trumpet, Stephen Palmore on bass, and myself on drums.
I finished school. I didn't learn anything at school, but I finished school. And then I was learning on the road, being around in Europe as a hippie. I was 72, 73, then I had big problems. I was in a hospital for 8 months because I had very crisis of tuberculosis. And I stayed there. It was like 8 months in a jail, but I had a lot of time to think. But I brought a record player with me. And I was listening to music.
Music is a live thing, and it's when you listen to a record or on the radio, it's all not as it's not there, you know. But it's you have no choice. And when I grew up, there was records. I had to listen to records to find my way, to go deeper, to make research. That was the only way because there was so little live music up there in the north. So I mean, this music, I mean, I can totally understand that people hear it on the radio or hear a record, hates experimental abstract music because it doesn't fit the moment or it doesn't fit to a dinner or whatever. But when you see it live, when you see people interact and how people are treating each other, it totally makes sense, I think.
It's right, but it's not right. That actually you're part of the music they create because you're there. If you're not there, maybe it's different. I don't like the word democratic, but it's very democratic because you're there and you can start shouting and you can stop the music with. You have the power to do it, but you don't do it because you trust them. And the good thing is you can lay your destiny in the hands of the musician and they guide you for an hour or for 2 sometimes. And I think that's the thing I like the most.
Other people are sharing that moment. Also, the audience is sharing the moment, of course. And when the audience is part of it, when it's free and happens here and now, it's open. You know, you're there. There's of course a lot of musicians that are skilled technically, but they are not interested in communication. That happens, you know, it's like with human beings too. You meet someone and you start to talk and after a while you realize this person only talks about himself. Or only talks about something that is, I don't know. You know, it's all about sharing. Like you and me now, we sit and talk. I mean, in a way, I would like to ask you things too, but now we're sitting in an interview situation, so that's kind of it's not really two-way, you know. And communication, musical communication is like that. And in certain situations, free improvised music situations with people you never played with before, there could be a situation when the communication just don't work, you know. And that it could be of different reasons. Maybe the other musician is not interested, or maybe he can't express himself well enough on the instrument, or there could be a lot of different things. But when this music really works, when there's all about sharing and the challenge, it's the most amazing music there is. But when it doesn't work, this music is the worst shit on the planet. And that's the challenge for me, because it's a fine line. You never know. When you go on stage, you never fucking know what will happen.
About fitting together, you know. Like thousands of CDs, thousands of records. And one of the reasons to make music myself is, okay, I have so much information in my head. Records, CDs, this, that, the other. I have to reload everything, you know, and I cannot listen to it. My life is very, I don't know how long it lasts, but if I put all my CDs and all my information, then I have to get 200 or 300 years. So I try to scratch. I thought, like, okay,
years.
Yeah, 2 seconds of Anthony Braxton is okay. Have the music in your brain all the day. I cannot live without music. If there's no music, I'm dead.
Music is not enough in itself. You have to put it in a context. And I think to do this kind of music that's a political act in itself. And fuck it. I mean, that's what it is. We built up a new scene together, and that was a very, very good school and important. We made our own concerts, festivals, producing records. We did everything from scratch, and then we started to invite international musicians like Paul Ovens, Evan Parker, Phil Minton, whoever, you know. So we built it up from scratch, and that was an extremely good school and a way of learning, you know. And you have to do it. With this kind of music, this kind of culture, it's a political thing too, of course. But you have to do it on your own. No one else is doing it for you. I think that's important, and that is something that more unexperienced people, younger people, has to realize fast. Otherwise, nothing works. You know, you have to do it yourself.
And then I proposed to do a book, something like Festschrift. And I did some interviews for that. And then I was transcribing the interviews, even translating the interviews. And I thought that's a very nice way of learning. To ask the things I ask myself are people I respect. And people who are maybe twice the age that I have, who travel a lot and play music, artists, like full artists, not only musicians, but artists who read, maybe write and paint, and it's interesting for me to see how they see the world, how they cope with their problems, and then maybe compare my things to them.
music was always information by listening and not by writing. And that was Butch's intention was. Butch Morris' intention was to fuck this European classic, writing the scores down of Beethoven or Mozart or Haydn or all these fuckers. They were all improvisers.
No theoretical or rational thinking about music. It's a body experience, and it's more this whole thing. I asked Paul Lowens once, how do you listen to music? And he looked at me, you tell me how you listen to music. It was during an interview. And I said, I don't know, I asked you. Okay. And then he was talking about listening to music, but not the actual process of listening, but what he does. That he said, for example, he prefers to stand up when he listens to music, or he prefers to iron the clothes, or doing some work. It's like he was talking about Edgar Allan Poe, who wrote something about the stars, that when you look at the stars, the brightest stars are these you're not looking at. And it's when you do something, you're not really focused on that, but you're doing it, and then the music enters better in your head.
And it was funny, after our concert with Giardini, which I saw, he did a really great job after Butch Morris left the planet. Like, we were 13 people on stage, and you cannot. I was trying to focus on what is the trumpet doing, what is the bass doing, but you have to watch the conductor, because he's giving us that. When it was over, we did this little encore, and Hamid Drake was coming over to me and says, which part of African music was this? Central African. I said, Angola. I thought it was Angolan music. Hey, and it's such a positive, feeling. But maybe some other people, they don't care with that. Hamid is a fucking xylophone music. Which part of Africa? Central Africa? I said, no, Angola.
Oh, Hans Pfau. When Hans has broken the mold. There's only one Hans Pfau, and the mold has been broken, so there'll never be another Hans Pfau, He is one of a kind.
When I was traveling when I hitchhiked through Southern Europe, Turkey, Greece, and I met a beautiful beautiful girls. And I was looking for her because I was on a boat, I was going to Marseille, she was going to Barcelona. Then from Marseille I hitchhiked to the Montreux Festival. I couldn't stay there because there was all this blues and music I was not interested in. It was raining and so I hitchhiked from Montreux to Pamplona, the Ernest Hemingway Festival, Fiesta San Fermin, what is it called?
I don't know.
Yeah. And I was in love, you know, I was in love. But I never found her again. Then I went back to Montreux, then I found Archie Shepp and then Anthony Braxton. And the funny thing was, when that was 74, 73, could be around this time. And the funny thing, when I did a long tour, I wanted to stop doing music or organizing music in 84, 85. I said, I've done everything. I've seen Lester Bowie, I was a friend with Anthony Braxton, with George Lewis, with Roscoe Mixer's older Afro-American avant-garde, with Air, Henry Threadgill, Steve McCall. I said, I'm done. I don't want to continue. I went to West Africa for 5 months. And after 5 months, when I was coming back, I found a postcard. This Australian girl, who I was hitchhiking 1,500 kilometers for her, and I didn't find her at those times because I was young and maybe too. And she wrote me a postcard and said, Hans Farb, do you remember me? I'm in Amsterdam and I want to come and visit you. And I was coming back from Africa, and this postcard was like 3 months before. So everything, it's about time and space and everything in between. I said, fuck. It wouldn't have changed my life, it would just have been a meeting. When I was in Chetno, I had this Thelonious Monk biography with me. And I discovered that this guy, who was living here, he was Al Fats Edwards, a blues musician from Texas. And he had to get out of France because he was the dealer. He was the one who sold Thelonious Monk hashish. When he was the first time in Europe, when the French people brought him to the Paris Festival. And he even was not announced, and Thelonious Monk wanted to travel with his band, but they could only bring Thelonious Monk over. So they gave him a rhythm section, a Paris rhythm section. And he didn't know with whom he plays. But the point was this, they met in the same apartment where Alfred Edwards, the Texas singer, blues musician, he was dealing with hashish. And all the three of them were buying hashish from this guy. And and 20 years later, it was 1956. And 1976, Alfred Edwards was singing here, opening up my club. Said, coincidence?
Live,
yeah. And he was married to a lady from the next village. I didn't know that. I just read it when I was in Cherkno. I said, hey, what the fuck? 1956. Kind of smart guy, blues musician from Texas, Alfred Edwards. He was the one who made Thelonious Monk safe to play the gig. It's all about very fast information, but has to go through the from the brain of the guy who's imagining the music. Giardini was creating the ensemble. I asked him a very important question. I said, "Where's my freedom in the ensemble?" He said, "You don't have it."
Something about it's just so rare a person. It's so human.
Hans, few words about Hans Fab. Well, he's an enthusiast, and he has a great knowledge about music and food and drinks, and he is so fantastic person, and he's also very humoristic.
Music really works, it goes spontaneously. You know, you don't plan your next move, you don't intellectualize shit, you know. So it's all intuitive and in the moment. Instrumental technique, you know. If you don't have really good technique, extreme technique in a way, you can't really express yourself. It's too slow. You can express certain things, but you can't express your whole being, who you are. You have to be willing to make mistakes. You even look for the mistakes, you know, and learn from the mistakes. Only then you can develop your own music. That's been a method for me to try to control the mistakes, you know, because it existed once, then it can exist again. You know? So I'm very much into mistakes. You just have to make the research, you know, and it never stops. You will never finish, you know. It never. I will never be finished.
if you finish,
Stopping very slowly.
yeah, if you stop, you're broke. Said no, I break before you.
I mean,
When I'm gone, and there's still people will send me emails and call me. Can I have a gig in your place?
Oh, you see, this building resists the binary, but where is the room that I grew? The fire. Please fire. Please fire. Please fire, won't you stay? Won't you? Won't you stay? Won't you stay?
I think that's the beauty of this music. You share it with other people, and you have the history, the tradition on your back, so to speak, and you can learn from what other people were doing in the past, and you can pick it. It's all up there. It's all up for grabs. You can do whatever you want as long as you make it your own.
You have to have the power, the positive life force, to continue. Try and really do not to improvise the world, to improve the world, to make it better for everybody. Like Albert Einstein said, music is the healing force of the universe, and it's a positive force.
And
I'm like everybody else, you know. Do your shit as long as you can do it, and tell no lies.
Claim no easy victories.
Claim no easy victories. Yeah. I think we can finish with that.